Hey, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the Brown Gent. There's been a lot of discussions on crypto Twitter and even in the Web3 secret society around what we can do with our ETH, especially as the number of protocols where you can stake your ETH continues to expand. And as you probably heard, ETH is currently under investigation with the SEC. I'm not really worried about that. That's more of a red herring. But what do you do and how do you maximize the Eigenlayer strategy? So that's what I'm going to talk about in this video. Just remember, I'm not a financial advisor, so I'm just a guy on YouTube. Don't take what I'm saying as financial advice. That being said, if you want extra coaching, support, we have a private group where we basically filter out all of the noise so you get the up-to-date and most important alpha that you have to activate on. Think about it like a sort of news brief where you're basically told, here's exactly what you've got to do in what time frame, and here's how to do it, and a community of people to support you. So if you're interested in that, check that out in the links below. So the first thing I want to talk about is Renzo. And Renzo is sort of the up-and-coming liquid restaking hub. It's gaining a ton of traction because we're starting to see more and more protocols get away from the Ethereum mainnet, which is actually a very good idea. Now, for those of you who are wondering, what the hell is Eigenlayer, right? Like, you probably heard the term. And what Eigenlayer does is, in the past, you need Ethereum to sort of stake. That proof of stake really supports those centralized or decentralized applications. The problem is, if you have sort of these, you see AVS over here, and nothing is really supporting it, well, your security is only as good as your weakest link, as you probably know. And this is where having the restaking that you see with the L1 value accrual, with the L1 sort of stakers, an Eigenlayer, really supports those AVS. And because of that, this liquidity is much like what you see in the Cosmos ecosystem, where we stake with validators to really secure the network. Now, this is the sort of basic understanding, the framework and the security, and it's that clear understanding that you need, because obviously this is going to be a very, very lucrative protocol, especially as we get into the bull market. So this is Eigenlayer, and right now, liquid restaking deposits are currently paused. But you know what? There are so many ways around it. We're going to talk about sort of some of the ways you can use it right now. You can see here, I have about 3.19 Ethereum staked. That's because I staked 3 Ethereum with Swell Network a long time ago. The 0.19 ETH, or a little bit of that, is interest because it captures it. But I'm going to talk about sort of what we're trying to do, try to maximize these restaked points. Oops, wrong button. And basically, you know, we saw with alt layer, if you had 1,500 points or maybe 1,200, you got an alt layer airdrop before. And we're going to see a ton of this happen, not including the Eigenlayer airdrop, which I expect to be massive. And yes, they have not sort of said it yet, but that's what all these protocols do. They literally are not doing this altruistically. A lot of these protocols are looking to tokenize and take advantage of the incredible amount of liquidity they have and the value proposition, in this case, Eigenlayer. So let's take a look at our options. Many of you know about EtherFi. EtherFi actually, you know, if you look back in December, it was like 101 million, but it really exploded, especially near the end of March, like mid-March, where, like, you know, basically it's probably the highest TVL right now at almost 3 billion. And EtherFi actually had their airdrop recently. So if you haven't done it already, you can go to claim.etherfi and get your airdrop. Right now, it's valued at $3.97 per token. Especially, you know, the team came back and gave a little more allocation. So it was a pretty good win. Some of you might be in Swell, which is what I chose. And unfortunately, you know, Swell has not done so well from a TVL perspective. It was matching really EtherFi for quite a while, but recently it's kind of dropped. But you know what? They are also having their TGE, or token generation, event soon. In fact, they're going to have a Swell L2. So that's very interesting. and the sort of restaked Swell Ether will really be the native gas token, but the Swell token will be governance. So very excited to see that. I do think this is going to be somewhat worthwhile. If you haven't already and you want to stake in Swell Network and you want, I'm not saying you should, because I'm actually going to take some out. You can see here I've already earned about like 3,000 pearls. So we'll see what that gets converted to in terms of rewards. Now, Renzo is the one I want to talk about today. And the reason I want to talk about Renzo is they have a product called Easy ETH. And I'm going to talk about what I want to do. And in fact, I have bridged over some ETH, or actually sent it over from one of my other wallets to do this live with you guys, so there's a lot of clarity. So another reason to sort of prioritize this, if you are interested in farming Eigenlayer and farming Renzo and farming sort of other protocol points, is because they're actually giving 100 easy points boost per ETH deposit. It started yesterday, but it goes until April 3rd. So you got like a week and a half. So I think there are a couple things I want to go through here for you to understand. We're not going to talk about this yet. We just talked about Eigenlayer. Renzo, I sort of mentioned it kind of briefly. It's a liquid restaking token and strategy manager. Here's what's very important. Just take a look at the investors. Binance, right? You've got a lot of VCs here, including Mantle. Like, do you think these VCs are in here just to be like, yeah, you should get the ETH and just sort of help people restake it? Or do you think they're here because they want a token? You think they want early access to whatever the token that comes out of this ecosystem will be? That's where my bet is. So with that being said, there are many options, and all you got to do is you click on the button to restake over here on the top right. It will take you to this page. And on this page, you can literally select wherever you want your Ethereum from, whether it's on ETH mainnet, which is, oh God, no, Arbitrum, or things like Mode or Linea, right? And you can actually trade your Ethereum for Easy ETH. Now, before you do it, and I want people to sort of understand, before you make any decisions, you've got to do your research and understand what's going on. Thankfully, I've done that. And by the way, if you guys want, I have included my referral code. If you want to support the channel, I do get 10% of whatever somebody makes in terms of points. So hey, up to you if you guys want to do it. But let me just tell you, Easy ETH is a liquid restaking token, right? And basically, if we have Easy ETH, we get 100% of the Eigenlayer rewards. And one thing you should know, you should always be looking at this. It's one thing to put your money in, but are you able to take your money out? So depending on the way you stake, unstaking typically takes 7 days. That's basically the same thing if you do it directly with Eigenlayer. Makes a lot of sense. However, you are unable to withdraw Easy ETH to ETH directly, and you have to sort of make the swap on another exchange. So they recommended Balancer Pool. When I look at Balancer Pool, they only support the following chains. So they don't have Linea on here, which is a knock against it. I know some people told me that they would do it on Linea because I'd have to bridge the Easy ETH token over from Linea. That's extra fees that I don't want to pay. Something to consider. The other thing I wanted to look at was Pendle. So Pendle actually offers you 3 different choices, 3 different tokens. The YT token, their PT token, and their LP token, right? So down here. Their PT token is basically fixed yield, low risk / reward. The problem with this one, and you'll see it later, is you literally do not earn any Eigenlayer or any Renzo easy points. So then exactly what are we doing this for? You're literally only doing this to get Ethereum. Honestly, if I had like a pen that I could sort of write on this monitor, this one's out. This one's like literally the dumbest option. So then you have what is I consider the sort of ultra degenerate option. And ultra degenerate because it's high risk, high reward. So like basically over time, if you use YT, it's a yield bearing asset. So you will like earn so many more points. However, your YT token sort of degenerates. So it's not really worth as much. Sort of kind of in the middle over here, if you go to the LP, right? The LP token, in my opinion, is a little better. And that's probably the one I'm going to start with. But I understand that people are actually using the YT mode. So, not a bad thing by any means, but it's definitely something that you want to consider. And by the way, guys, I'm trying to make this a little faster because I did get some comments about the length of my videos. And yes, we will have a Q&A after. So if you have any questions on this, we'll go through it. Now, here are all the places you can put your Easy ETH after you do it. So one of the things you want to make sure is whatever chain you use, that you have the ability to deposit. For example, Zircuit, which is sort of what CC2 Ventures uses, and it's actually a very good protocol, and they've got a ton of TVL. It's on Ethereum. If I want to go into Pendle, which is sort of the other option I'm looking at, right? Pendle or Zircuit, I've got to be on Ethereum, or let's see where else it is. And you're going to see it very soon. Pendle is on one other chain, and it's on Arbitrum. I don't know why it says no TVL. That's surprising because it is a 2x. So that's something actually that maybe I should consider. But Pendle, I think is good, and that's probably what I'm going to be looking at, and to do. So by doing this here, this is Pendle, and you can see here on Arbitrum, we got this going over here. Points from Arbitrum assets have not been distributed. Script development is in progress. So if we go here, we see, this is going on right now on Ethereum. Here's what it looks like on Arbitrum. So let's go back here to Renzo, and I apologize for tabbing over, but what I want to do is I basically want to get 2.1 Ethereum into this, and you can see here that obviously, like, the value, if I put 1 ETH in here, it's not the same in Easy ETH. And the reason I want you guys to know this is Easy ETH is worth more than ETH, and the value of Easy ETH will go up over time. That's where this value is incorporated. So I'll put 2.1 here. We'll hit confirm transaction, and unlike the Ethereum mainnet, where I've got to pay like $100 in gas when I'm doing this, I've just paid 1 cent in gas over here, and we'll see if this goes. It should go, but will be very interesting. And I want to show you guys how to do it, because I feel like a lot of people like to show you stuff after the fact. I like doing it live so you see it happening right away. So this is what happened. I now have 2.07 Easy ETH. And just by holding the Easy ETH, I'm going to be earning sort of the Eigenlayer. Now let's go to DeFi, and let me go to, I could go to Camelot. Camelot's not bad. If I go to Pendle, let's just check this out over here right now. If I go to Pendle, see if I can get this working. Are we here? Provide liquidity. Let's just put it in here right now and see what it says. 3 months Pendle for max boost, 1 year, whatever. Yeah, so I can put 3 months in here. You know what? Just because I want to just make sure I'm being safe, I'll put 1 for now, and I'll come back. So we'll approve Easy ETH here. I love Rabby Wallet, by the way. It just like literally keeps you safe at all times. I see like literally everything that's going on in the wallet, and now that's happening. We'll put this in. We'll zap it in. Okay. So that gives me LP Easy ETH and YT Easy ETH. One thing I didn't mention, I want to sort of go back to the documents if I can. Let me just see if I can find it for you guys. The other thing is, if you sort of go into the LP, and this is something very important, the impermanent loss is minimal, maximum 0.9. And if you hold it till maturity, they guarantee you 0 IL. And by doing this, I will get 2x the Renzo easy points, Eigenlayer points, ETH. I'll get swap fees, Pendle rewards, and the fixed yield. So that's what I'm doing this for. And sort of as I'm talking about it, I'm like, man, I should be doing 2 ETH at once. But I mean, the gas is literally like 5 cents. So I'm okay doing this way. We'll just do that here. And I'm going to confirm. Guys, one more thing I want to mention is as you're doing these things, make sure that you're writing down everything. Like, yes, you can use the bank. The bank will show you where everything is. But I still think it's just better for you to know off the rip what's going on. So I've done that. We're good to go here. And I'm going to investigate basically what I do after. But one thing I do want to bring to your attention is Zircuit staking. So Zircuit staking is primarily only on Ethereum mainnet, and this is something CC2 Ventures has highlighted. You know, everyone knows the ETHFi airdrop was huge, and no one is surprised that the restaking narrative is like top notch. It and AI are like the two biggest narratives, and then gaming right after it. So basically, he's recommending people go to Zircuit's L2. It's AI-enabled modular ZK rollup. And it's sort of, going to be an Ethereum-based L2 as well. So based on that, he's saying you can get staking APR, restaking APR, Eigenlayer points, LRT airdrop, and the Zircuit airdrop. So basically, there are some risks, and I want to make this very clear. Whenever you deposit into any of these things, whether it's Renzo, Zircuit, you have the risk of a sort of contract flaw where the funds are drained. So this is why I like to spread my funds around. You won't ever see me put more than 3 ETH into a single protocol, because I'll just go, hey, you know what? Things can go wrong. Let me just spread this around. So this is something I'm going to definitely do after, because when you go to Zircuit, you can deposit here, but you need to be on Ethereum. And right now, I have my Swell ETH, the ones right here, in Eigenlayer. So right after this video is done, I'm going to go over and, maybe I'll do it I'll do it later. I'm going to go in there and withdraw two of my 3 Ethereum or Swell Ethereum, and then deposit it into here once it unlocks in 7 days, and start farming it this way. Especially since Swell, basically, I've earned a lot of pearls. Let's sort of diversify and have it across 3. So that's really sort of the overall strategy. Would love to hear what you guys think in the comments below. Guys, do not sleep on this. I'm telling you, restaking is not complicated. People want it to be complicated so they can make you videos every day. I don't need to make another video on this. Guys, watch this again. Slow mode, 0.5 speed maybe. Make sure you maximize it. I think it's so important that you guys do not miss out on airdrops, because if you guys know anything about my channel, I'm all about doing the least to gain the most. And here, I want you guys to have a certain number of Eigenlayer points to your wallet. Try not to split this up. I know a lot of people will go, oh, I want to have points here and points there. A lot of the Eigenlayer stuff will be threshold based, and I'd rather you have one big airdrop than miss out on a ton for the chance of getting a slightly, more cumulative airdrop. So that's one thing. And the second thing is, so this takes time, right? For Eigenlayer, the typical rate is 1 point per hour per ETH staked. So you get 24 points per ETH staked basically per day. So it does take some time to gain it. And, you just want to get to the, to 4 digits at a minimum. And remember, you're gonna watch this video again in like 6 months, when maybe 6 months to a year, when Eigenlayer announces something, and go, I wish I did this. So prioritize this, because by doing this, you can focus on other things. If you've got your Eigenlayer, your ETH staked, earning Eigenlayer points, you got your Celestia staked, you got your Dimension staked, literally you basically got almost everything done. Now, the small things that are there, you can work on, but literally it's the cheat code, right? The more you can set up your airdrop strategy to be passive and setting yourself up for the long term by giving yourself just these bonuses, the better off you're going to be. So guys, make sure you definitely think about prioritizing this. I'm not a financial advisor, of course. This is what I'm doing. I showed it to you guys live, so you know that I practice what I preach. That being said, guys, if you haven't already, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. And until next time, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.